The guitar, a spiritual six-string sonic powerhouse. Millions of players dream about emulating their heroes and performing on the grand stage, and Guitar Star is back to make those dreams a reality. This year we're going to be making an even bigger noise, with the help of some guitar and music industry legends, 10-time Grammy Award-winning jazz guitar great George Benson.
Being who I am and where I came from, I know what potential can mean.
Award-winning classical virtuoso Miloš.
I think I'm going to be the toughest one of the three. All my friend knows that I always say what I think.
And myself, rock producer Tony Visconti. Over the following weeks, we'll be joined by a host of other heavyweight headline acts from the guitar world.
When you play, give it all you've got from here.
Showmanship, to me, is really important.
The minute you hear them playing, you get your one note and you know who it is.
What I always look for in a great guitarist is somebody who can make me feel something.
You manage to take that emotion and transfer it into somebody else. That's what technique is.
Together, we'll be finding incredible talent, then mentoring and honing their skills until just one great guitarist emerges, ready to take on the ultimate prize, performing on the main stage at Latitude Festival this summer. This is Guitar Star. After making it through the auditions, we're taking our guitarists on a crash course in guitar stardom. Last week, our chosen 8 players had the incredible experience of being mentored by jazz legend George Benson on showmanship. Today we're getting out of the hustle and bustle of the city to the beautiful surrounds of Wiltshire in the English countryside and Peter Gabriel's real-world studios, where our guitarists are going to be spending the day working one-on-one with a mentor who values technique above all else, classical virtuoso Miloš.
Technique is something that cannot be learned in a day. It's something which takes years and years of practice and hard work. And there are kind of endless possibilities with what you are able to achieve on an instrument which seems so simple.
At just 33, Miloš has become one of the most recognizable faces in the classical guitar world. He's won a range of awards, including the prestigious Gramophone Young Artist of the Year and a Classical Brit Award in 2012.
This really and truly is a dream come true. Thank you. Thank you.
Those moments are the most exciting, wonderful moments of your life, and those are the things you are going to be telling to your grandchildren one day.
Growing up in Montenegro during the Balkan War, Miloš's path to the top hasn't been without challenges.
The circumstances in Montenegro and in the Balkans in the 90s were anything but easy. And my parents always tried the absolute best to make us always feel comfortable and supported. I would, as a child, sit on the porch of our little house on the seaside, look at the stars and see the plane pass, and I would say, I want to be on that plane, no matter where that plane is going. So discovering the guitar in that crazy period was such a blessing, because it was my magic wand to make a beautiful world, no matter the world that I lived in. And playing the guitar was, in my mind, the best thing that a young boy can do. The earliest hero that I had was Segovia, because my father had an old record, and it was then that I heard what classical guitar sounds like for the first time. In my teens, it was John Williams. His CDs were the only things we can get hold of. They were usually smuggled across the border and multiplied God knows how many times. But ultimately, I ended up getting ideas from all those people, but then just listening to that inner voice, which was getting stronger and stronger and stronger.
Miloš's ability and desire to improve as a player led to him winning a scholarship at the prestigious Royal Academy of Music in London, age 17.
I found myself surrounded by incredibly talented young people who went to the poshest schools of music. And to be honest with you, for the first couple of months, I was missing so much information and so much knowledge. And my confidence was really, really shaken. But there is one thing that I felt that I had, and that was this incredibly pure way of playing the guitar. And I was allowed to just play.
After graduating, Miloš signed a record deal, and what was his passion now became his career.
From being a young, promising artist, I arrived in the position where I was the recording artist of Deutsche Grammophon and of Universal Music. And the more I did it, I wanted even more and more and more.
Miloš has gone from strength to strength and now performs on a regular basis to sold-out audiences all over the world.
People often ask, why was it Miloš that broke the mold and suddenly plays for so many people? And what I know is that my training and my upbringing and all those different influences throughout my whole life are my biggest assets. And whether I'm playing the music of the Beatles or a whole evening of Bach suites, I wanted to bring something that I as a classical guitarist feel so passionately about to a wider audience. I'm just having fun, and I'm playing the music that I love, and I'm having the time of my life.
Despite his fame, Miloš has retained a passion for nurturing and developing guitar talent.
I remember my 25-year-old self when I was really trying to get signed to a big label. It's almost like you're possessed with some sort of energy which literally makes you invincible. And in those shoes today, to work with musicians who possess that kind of energy and who really, really want it so badly, it's unbelievably inspirational to me. And I will do my absolute best to be there for them and to give them the most constructive opinion about how they can be the best that they can be. Well, hello, everyone.
Hello.
It's so good to see you again. I haven't seen you since the auditions, and I'm sure that you've been to hell and back in between. Have you been preparing and working hard?
Of course. Yeah, most definitely.
Obviously, I'm a classical guitarist, and not all of you are. Once you know how to play classical guitar, or have just the basics of the classical guitar in your fingers, then you can do whatever you want. You need to learn about how to move the fingers correctly, because then you're less likely to get in trouble with other things. It all comes down to that approach to technique that we are here to talk about. And I don't think music can come out if you don't have the correct technique.
So I heard from somebody that when he went on stage, he used to sort of do this before he played, just to get a little bit of grease on your fingers, so you don't feel like it's sticky or anything. Do you do anything similar to that, or any other tips on stage?
There was once after the concert, and suddenly this woman came and she said, "I just love the way you stroke your guitar before every piece. Every time before you play, you like gently touch your instrument." And it's like, she said, "I really would have loved to be your guitar." and it's true. I have a tiny bit of Vaseline on under the neck of my guitar, just here. And before I play, it's true. I just
Stroke it.
gently touch it. I do my little thing, and then it's good.
Yeah.
What do we think about image on stage? Come on.
I think image is really important.
Obviously.
I think it's important, but it's not important to always look suave.
I don't think it's like always important, but I think it makes you memorable. Like obviously my hat. Again, it's kind of like.
You know what, Billy? There's something that I have to tell you. What makes you memorable is how you play.
Yes.
Okay? And your hat is not going to make any difference. You can wear a fruit plate on your head if you want. It's your chops. It's what you have. And you have it. You have a lot of music in you. And that's the first thing. So don't overthink these things.
How does it feel to, collaborate with other musicians from the non-classical world, such as Gregory Porter on your Let It Be song? Like, how does it feel?
I've never really gone into the pop side of things. But I'll tell you something, it was the best decision I ever made in my life, because I learned more by recording that album and working with those musicians than I have learned from anything else I've done. That's for me important, because it means that I have grown.
Words of wisdom, let it be, let it be, let it be, let it be, let it be.
So anyway, what I really look forward to is to work with you guys today on your pieces, on your music, on who you are, and just help you with whatever you wish to express when you're out there playing at Coco or anywhere else in the world. Because as I said, this is just one thing, and there is so much ahead of you. And the most important thing is that you are confident in yourself and that you love what you're doing. And so let's do it. I say, yeah.
My last class with Milosh was absolutely amazing. I think it was a great opportunity, and to get some great tips from him was just absolutely amazing. I think it really helped me improve in the future.
He had so many good stories to tell, and I feel like I got a lot from it.
Joining Milosh at Real World Studios to work with the guitarist on technique is first-rate percussive acoustic guitarist John Gomp. John is legendary for creating drum sounds, bass lines, and melodies with his acoustic guitar. He's recorded 3 solo albums and has toured all over the world. Ahead of working one-on-one with John later, the guitarists now get the opportunity to have a masterclass with him and watch his unique acoustic style in action.
In terms of his playing style, John Gomp is my favourite musician on the planet.
I couldn't sleep last night. I'm just so happy. There's so much I can learn from him, and it's just incredible that I've been given this opportunity.
It's really cool to be able to get with any guitarist kind of alone in a room with our instruments, and I feel like I can put across something different, give them a different perspective that they never had before. Okay, I just played a piece for you called Topeka, which has lots of different techniques that I thought you might be interested in. If you take a technical idea and change it and expand on it the same way that you would with a musical idea. You can actually use that to be incredibly creative and come up with music. So, for example, tapping. So, tapping is where we do this on the guitar, and this is everybody's first tapping lick. However, I took that and wrote a song with it, just that. Okay, so I'll show you how I did it. So, this is the lick. I'm going to take my left-hand finger and move it onto the wrong string. Now I'm going to add a note by doing a little pull-off with that same finger. Now I'm going to change strings. I'm getting a bit sick of that high note now, so I'm going to change it.
It was really inspirational watching him do all the tuning things on the hand over the neck. It really made me want to try different techniques, and I want to try it when I get in and see what I can do. Probably won't be able to do it, but it has inspired me to go and try different things.
So I'm going to show you how to play drums on the guitar. One easy lesson. Drum number 1 is the kick drum, which is the low bass drum, and that's like this. Drum number 2 is the snare, the really loud drum. And then we can add some toms. Let's add the hi-hat. Let's add the bass.
Hey, yeah.
You know what? And Steve, just for you, mate.
Love it.
Yes. Well, I play basically just in alternative open tunings, and I wouldn't consider myself kind of theoretically trained. How important do you think it is?
It's worth learning kind of the rudiments just because of the advantages that it gives you and the knowledge that it gives you, but it's completely not essential. I know all the theory, every single bit of theory. I know it all, but it doesn't make me a better musician in any way.
Okay.
But it just means that I can communicate with other musicians in a different way, which can be useful sometimes. Okay, so I'm going to be seeing you guys later on this afternoon, where I'm going to be having some one-on-one sessions with each of you, and we can get down into the detail of your playing, and I can really examine you. But don't be afraid. Well, be a bit afraid, just not very afraid.
Both Milos and John will now work individually with each guitarist, digging deeper to explore and advance their delivery and technique. First up to play for Milos is classical guitarist Sam Rodwell.
When I was around 7 years old, I found a guitar in my granddad's loft, and it really spurred me on to go and get lessons. Studying the classical guitar at the Royal Northern College of Music, I feel has developed me massively as a musician. I've had so many chances to play with amazing instrumentalists, and the level of teaching there has just helped me massively. I think Milos is a great guitarist. Basically, what he is doing at the moment is exactly what I would like to be doing. And yeah, it would be great to see what I can get from the mentoring sessions with him.
How are you?
Very good, thank you.
Great to see you, and so proud to have you here. Proper classical guitarist. What are you going to play for me today?
So I'm going to play Sevilla today.
Oh, Sevilla! Oh, fantastic.
Which is obviously a very well-known piece.
Well, take it away. Well done. Bravo. You know, I didn't want to say it before you played it, but it is one of the hardest pieces in the repertoire. I'm very happy that you played it to me because it also shows me what are the aspects of your technique that you need to work on. I think the moment that you have a little bit more confidence in the control of where your finger is contacting with the string.
Is it sort of that bit there?
Exactly, you see?
Yeah, it's just, I don't know.
You know how you practice it. Just got it. Even slower, wait. Staccato and dotted. Do you use metronome when you practice?
Yeah.
You sure?
Yeah.
Honestly, I know it's so boring. But with a piece like this, there is no other way than metronome, slowly.
The left-hand criticism, I think it's frustrating because I know that I could have played with a lot more clarity. But I think he really does have a point, so I will be working on that.
And next up to play for John is rock guitarist Jake Heaton.
So I'm going to show you a thing where we're going to take what you're doing at the moment. It could be described as noodling. Do you know what that means? Yeah. So what we're going to do is each time you play a lick, you're going to aim for a particular note and you're going to stop on that note. And that's going to be your last note. Our first note that we're going to target this A. So you can noodle a little bit, but we're going to land on that note. So I'll give you an example. And I want you to stop on that note and really nail that note, okay? Awesome. Let's make the next target note. We're going to go for this one here. Great. Now we'll go for this note here, okay? Brilliant. But I want you to make the targeted notes longer or leave a little bit of silence after them. So.
That was cool.
Okay, that targeting will stop your soloing from sounding directionless. It's just meandering.
Yeah. Today has been one of the best days out of all the mentoring sessions because I feel I've taken most from it, and it was just a really good experience, and I'm quite proud of myself and how I've done.
At the moment, it's a bit flat.
Right.
And it's all beautiful and lush. But I want you to find a peak.
Right.
And then come down.
Okay.
Because then it will feel more complete.
Yes.
I'm noticing some insecurity in your left hand. How much scale practicing do you do?
Well, I went to Berklee College of Music, which should be called Berklee College of Scale Practicing.
Okay.
So I did loads of it, but it messed me up. I had to unlearn them because when I came to improvise in music, my fingers would get carried away with knowledge.
I just spent a lot of years forgetting my scales. I'm not sure I'm going to go back to scales.
When you're performing, you cannot afford to be self-indulgent.
Self-indulgent?
Because that's a bit selfish.
In what sense?
Well, in a sense that you're there to play to people. I just think that you could benefit from just working a little bit more on scales. He really tends to overindulge. And if there is one thing that is going to stop him from reaching the great heights, is that.
The thing about one musician advising another musician is sort of like one chef advising another chef. And of course, as the saying goes, too many chefs spoil the broth.
The guitarists are still at Real World Studios, working one-on-one with mentors Milos and John Gom, exploring technique and delivery. Next up to play for John is acoustic guitarist Haitham Mohammed.
My technique on the guitar is sort of well-rounded freestyle guitaring, I guess. The percussive sounds develop because the music I come up with in my mind has drums in it. So the percussive techniques are part of the music. They used to be more of a gimmick, looking around and trying to entertain everyone. You've not seen this before, have you, kind of thing. And then people started referring to me as that guy that drums on the guitar. And I'm not. I made it to the audition stage last year. If you want my honest opinion, I'm back because I want to win it. This is an opportunity for me now to make a statement.
Something along them lines, I guess. We're here today to look at guitar technique. So to be honest, I just wondered if you had any questions really about like technique stuff, anything you wanted to know.
A lot of the really dexterous stuff I see you do when you're sort of not really in a time, you go, you know, doing all the sort of pull-offs and stuff like that.
It's great for you playing anyway to learn that kind of stuff. I don't imagine, Haitham, that you sit at home practicing scales that often, right? Would I be right in thinking
You
that?
are so correct.
Okay, if you want to learn to get that left-hand technique, speed, dexterity, scales are where they come from. Let's try a particular pattern. We'll start on the highest note, little finger on the second string. We're going to start on that note, then you do a pull-off, then hammer on, second finger, then little finger, okay? And then, that's it. And what you want to do with that is start really, really slow, make sure it's relaxed and even, and try and work on the volume, every note being the same, and then gradually speed it up until it's like this.
And you can just do it like in your sleep.
Basically, yeah.
The one-on-one mentor session with John was the highlight of my day.
How do you feel when you perform? Are you sometimes scared when you perform? Are you...
Extremely, yeah.
Yeah?
But I was really bad for that actually a year ago, and I think this competition has kind of made me feel like I am good enough. You know
what? I want you to now remember for like the rest of your life. Whenever you feel scared, just think how good you are, because you are so good.
Oh, thank you.
And I don't say this often.
Okay.
You have it in you, you really have it. And I think that there is so much more to come. I think we'll just scratch the surface of Becky here.
It really did build my confidence. It was incredible, like it really does kind of touch you when someone in that position says to you like, you're great, you're good.
Great.
Thank you.
Great. I really loved it. Well played, man.
Thank you.
So, there's a couple of things I want to talk to you about. One is tempo. Right now you're rushing, and it means that your tempo is getting away from you, and you don't feel like you're as in control of it as you could be. The best way to learn how to control a tempo is to play it super slow. Okay. Super, super slow. So instead of ding, 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 it'll be ding, ding, that kind of tempo. That's great. So I would really recommend that you practice your pieces like that. Yeah. You know?
Hey, Jake, oh my God, I need to calm down now. I'm very happy it's not too loud today. How are your ears? You hear well? What? Do you hear well? Beautiful, Billy. Bravo.
Thank you.
Bravo. Very, very nice. It's a very melodic piece. I mean, originally it's for the violin. The melodies on the violin. And you know, on the violin, they have a bow. Yeah. And when they have a bow, they can sustain the melody for a very, very long time. And what you have to do is you have to be the piano and the violin, or whatever it is, you have to be the whole thing. Have you ever tried to separate the melody and just practice the melody on its own?
No, I haven't.
Can you try? Just play. Play it from the development. Ya, da, da. Okay, now, how are we going to make that sound as if you were a violin?
Bowing it.
Yeah.
Just constantly.
Yes, but how you don't have a bow, so how are you going to do it? By maybe turning your hand a little bit more inwards.
Okay.
And having a more scooping sound where you're going to sustain. Yeah. Lovely. Da, da. Go for it. Go for it. And okay, that's lovely. Sounds great already, but there is still some work to be done on the interpretation so that it feels even more Billy. Okay?
Yeah. I was quite nervous when I played to Milosh, but I mean, once I started playing, the kind of nerves started to go away, and like, it was the fact that he was there was like, just unreal, really. It was probably the best thing that's happened to me in this competition so far.
Next at Real World to receive one-on-one mentoring from Milosh is Steve Morrison.
Now, I have to confess, I'm left-handed, so I've never managed to develop a technique where I can use the third finger. I've tried.
Okay.
I sometimes do some exercise.
But what will help you much more is if you, instead of resting on the strings, you are more like that.
Okay.
Did you try that?
I can.
I think it's much cleaner. Can you practice that really slowly? But look, relax, just relax the hand.
Okay.
Put it down. You can put it down from here, and then just a little bit higher in the wrist.
Okay.
Yes. I think you can do it. You can still do it. It's just you just need to lift the wrist.
This has never felt so natural. I've
Good.
tried many times.
It's because you use the correct technique. You see the joys of classical guitar technique. Yeah.
Thank you.
It's great.
Oh,
Thanks very
you.
much. So there's lots of stuff that I want to get into with your technique. There's a lot of left-hand tapping going on in that piece. Now,
Okay,
so
yeah.
left-hand tapping being when you're
Yeah.
just playing with just the left hand on the neck. When your hand is in this position, the only bit of your body that you can use is your fingers, which are really kind of feeble. If you bring your thumb onto the back, then suddenly you can engage, when you do a hammer-on, you can engage your hand, the muscles in your forearm, and it'll be so much louder and clearer and easier. There's other technical stuff as well, so your percussion on the guitar. When I do my kick drum sound like this, it's a low, bass, round, woody blow sound. When I do this sound, it's really, you can hear it's completely different. When you do those two sounds on your guitar, they sound really, really similar.
Yeah.
And it's because of how hard you're hitting it. Because if I do this really hard, it sounds much more like this one. And this is totally going to fix another problem with your sound, which is the balance. So when I'm playing stuff like this, hopefully everything's in balance and it doesn't sound like this. With the drums really loud and it sounds like somebody building a shed and the guitar really quiet. But if you get your thumb on the back, that's going to make your guitar louder. If you hit it way more softly over here, that's going to, your balance is going to be so much sweeter and more musical.
That's brilliant. You've literally just clicked like everything together for me.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Correct.
Yeah, that was really good. Thanks.
Okay, good.
My one-on-one session with John Gom was incredible. I just learned so much. You know, just like meeting him, like I just feel so happy that I'm in this position and that I've been given this opportunity. Yeah, incredible.
Having spent time with Milos and John Gom today, I feel that I can be a better guitarist. They both had advice for me, some tips, different things where I could push myself and extend my range, and that's what I'm always looking for.
Knowing that Milos appreciated my playing today is a big boost.
To have one-on-one time with Milos and John Gom, which are both amazing guitarists in their own ways, it's some brilliant experience, and I think it's just absolutely amazing.
After an intense day of mentoring, Milos has treated the guitarists with a trip to London to watch John Gom perform at King's Place Concert Hall.
When you're performing on a big stage, do the audience care about how fast you can play or how many wrong notes you play? And the answer is no, they don't care, and it's what they're there for is to feel something. But technique is part of that, because you can be sure that if you mess it up or you're out of tune, even if people don't know enough to be able to say, he was out of tune, they'll know enough to say, it didn't sound right, I wasn't really into it. So, yeah, technique does still matter here.
I've actually been listening to John Gom since the very beginning, so like this is incredible for me. You know, to actually see him up close and live, I'm really looking forward to it.
He's a fab player. He's incredibly technical. He writes incredible music, so the musical experience we're going to get here is going to be really good.
So I got to sit down with him with a one-on-one, and he played for us, and he can really play. So watching him play to an audience like this, it's going to be great.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to King's Place. I have a great pleasure to welcome on stage a guitarist who is a fantastic performer, and he's the pioneer of the acoustic percussive style. Please put your hands together for John Gom.
Thanks, man. My name's John. I'm from the distant wilds of the north. Every song that I play is in a completely different tuning on the guitar. You might think, well, it doesn't really matter, you know, it's the same instrument. Well, here's Wonderwall.
That reminds me of the story you told me about my life.
In the stairway. It's different every time I do that. But if you are a guitarist, like our guitar star guitarists, and you are interested in using like different tunings for every song and stuff like that, then please take my advice on that subject and don't do it. This is my guitar arrangement of a disco classic from 1982 by Shaka Khan called Ain't Nobody.
performance was absolutely amazing. I'd say it was probably one of the most inspirational things I've seen.
I was quite literally sitting on the edge of my seat, just look at what he was doing. I can't understand how that sound comes out of that guitar. Absolutely incredible. It was a real honour.
As a percussive fingerstyle guitarist, it's like you can't help but observe every kind of micro technique that he's doing. He is one of my main influences. He's just a huge inspiration, and he's incredible to watch.
Bravo, bravo, my God.
Thanks.
Well, to me, that was one of the most special ways I have ever seen someone use a guitar. Well done, it was amazing. John and I, we had a great privilege of mentoring 8 fantastic contestants, and I would like to invite them to join us on stage.
Hey, Edison. Hey, man. Hey, Billy.
Yeah. So we had great fun working with these guys. Everybody's very different. What did you think?
Everybody on this stage, I just want to make this absolutely clear to you guys, and this is something that's very important for me to express, that each and every one of you guys, without doubt, has the ability to make great music with the guitar and should never, ever, ever, ever stop doing that, please. So I want to make that absolutely clear, okay? So yeah, for me it was an honour and just a great privilege to get to meet them.
Absolutely. So guys, let's wish them the best of luck. I really enjoyed working with 8 guitarists today because some of them have incredible potential. Some of them are already so fantastically good. Some of them have problems. And I think that this is all fine. And that's why we are here. We are here to help. And I enjoyed it tremendously.
Next time on Guitar Star, the 8 guitarists get coached in how to be as creative as possible with their guitar playing from 2 of music's biggest stars, one of the pioneers of the punk rock movement, Wilco Johnson, and singer-songwriter Leanne La Havas.
How Brian Wilson took the Beach Boys to new heights with Pet Sounds. Just one of the fascinating stories in brand new Soundbreaking, next on Sky Arts.